this is it. After 12 whole days of kaiju monster madness in this marathon known as Atomic Kings, we are at the final video of the marathon. The final video of the theme, and the last kaiju movie that I'm actually willing to review. Because A, it's a brand new release. B, because I already reviewed all the other MonsterVerse films. And C, because I was going to get asked about it sooner or later, so might as well talk about it. Let's get the elephant out of the room first. Yes, I know that this movie came out on March 30th. It came out back at the end of March of this year, last month. But it was originally slated for April 12th, today. Today was the day it was supposed to initially come out. But for whatever reason, I'm still not quite sure why. I haven't been able to really find any articles or anything really describing why it got moved up. It got moved up to March, and it pretty much screwed my whole schedule. So I just said to myself, you know what? I already made a whole plan for this. Screw the day one freaking release restriction. Let's just go with the plan as we have it. Yes, it means people have to wait longer to hear my thoughts on the new one, but it'll be worth it. And it's definitely been a bit wildly inconsistent with this marathon. We've seen some really good films. We've seen some really bad films. And we saw some movies that were kind of in the middle. So, going into this one, having really enjoyed the previous one, Godzilla vs. Kong, I had expectations. And they were somewhat met. Like, this is another really good movie, but it has even more problems than last time. So, the score is going to be a little bit lower than it was in the previous installment, but let me make this clear. This is not a bad movie. I'm not one of those critics that are going to be bashing it to high heaven. No. I'm not bashing it. I'm simply giving some constructive criticism while still giving it praise for the things it got right. But the problem is it's kind of mostly the same movie. So I don't really have much new to say. It's more just sharing my overall thoughts. So, let's go ahead and just dive straight into it together. One last time. What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to Animation Station. Most of the animation, including TVs and movies as well. I am your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to the final installment of the Atomic Kings Marathon with Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. It's literally just all the same things that Godzilla vs. Kong had to offer with a little bit of variation. Yeah, this one's disappointing. It's not bad. This is still a really good movie, I want to make that clear. But it is very disappointing. Because I was expecting this to be like a really big event, because we have a new director. He wants to make it a bit more kind of like the traditional kaiju movies. And we have Godzilla and Kong actually teaming up for a whole movie, rather than only teaming up at the very end of the last one. But unfortunately, it just kind of exists. It's forgettable. It's really good, but it's sadly pretty forgettable. I have a pretty decently long written review for this one, but honestly there's not really a whole lot to say. So, let's just get through this nice and quick. Honestly thought I'd have more to say given this is the finale of this Atomic Kings marathon and all, but I truthfully really don't. Let me make this clear before you start jumping down my throat. This movie is not bad. It's still quite good and plenty entertaining. But the problem is that it's almost the exact same film as Godzilla vs. Kong. So, if you didn't like Godzilla vs. Kong, you're not gonna like this movie. Because it's pretty much the same thing. The kaiju fights are still great, the music is still good, finishers are still brutal, even more brutal than they were last time because we see even more enemy monsters getting ripped apart. The effects are still good. It's still really good CGI. World building is still fascinating. Pacing is still solid. Story's still good for the most part. You get my point. All the pros are pretty much all the same ones from the previous movie. But I'll give it this. Making Godzilla's new form based on Goku's Kaioken from Dragon Ball Z was awesome to see. And seeing Godzilla and Kong fight side by side was really cool. And the new villain, who apparently, according to my research, was played by Conor McGregor. Yeah, apparently he's in 2 movies this year, this and Roadhouse. Is solid. We don't really get a whole lot of him, but it's solid. However, the human characters still suck. The acting is still average from a cast who should know better. The plot is still haphazard. The runtime is still too long. And a few story elements are still inconsistent. And rewatchability is even lower because it's such a lazy rehash. And after just watching the masterpiece of Godzilla -1, it makes these problems even worse than last time because now we have an actual textbook example of how to make an amazing Godzilla movie. This doesn't even try to follow that template. Which, I mean, you can make the argument it's just doing its own thing. Fair enough, but still, you gotta expect more at this point, man. We're at what? The friggin'... Let me think. Actually, no. Don't let me think. I'm just gonna pick it up right here. Where are we? The 5th. We are on the 5th damn MonsterVerse movie, guys. We need to start expecting more, or this is all we're gonna get. Just forgettable. Just here today, gone tomorrow. Good, forgettable entertainment. Rather than something truly masterful or legendary. Overall, it's a good time at the movies, but I doubt I will ever remember it. Glad it's a 2020. I'm glad it's a 2024 sequel that's not crap, because most of the sequels I've already reviewed this year are really bad. But sadly, it's just so forgettable despite that I'm not really gonna jump to this movie's defense if people decide to shred it, because it's forgettable. And it's pretty much just an amalgamation of all the problems of all the MonsterVerse movies. The human characters suck. The acting is average, despite getting a cast of very talented people. Your plots are haphazard. Your runtimes are too long. Your story elements are inconsistent. Like, we're on the 5th film, guys. These are problems that could have very easily been fixed had you actually decided to give a damn and try. Like, come on, man. Seriously. This needs to stop. And if it's the same crap again with the next MonsterVerse movie, we are going to have some problems. So, you're not over the other side yet, MonsterVerse, but you are getting towards the tipping point. Movie's a 7 out of 10 at best. Nothing more, nothing less. Forgettable, fun, turn your brain off entertainment. That sadly is just not gonna really pull anyone new in that wasn't already pulled in this MonsterVerse. And it is far inferior to Godzilla -1 in every single way. Just disappointing. Another disappointing sequel. Not a bad sequel, thank goodness, but disappointing. That's the best way I can sum up this movie. It's disappointing. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's good, but it's disappointing. And that's all I can really say. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this almost every single day. And, yep, now that we're done with the monsters, it's time to move on to the next themed marathon. And this is one that I have been waiting to talk about for a long time. This is a series that I have been a fan of for as long as I can remember. It is one of my favorite shows, and it's a series that is just getting better and better with every season, and I think it's about time that I start giving it the respect it's due by giving it the reviews it deserves here on this channel. So, what is that marathon, you may be asking? Well, in the past, we've gone Super Saiyan, right? But this time, We're not going Super Saiyan. We're going...
We cannot take it anymore.